If you found this video, you're probably thinking about buying a pair of Technics earbuds, or you're just curious about what these are like based on the thousands of earbuds that are on the market at the moment. And, well, you should be curious. So I've been using the Technics AZ, and we do say Z in this country, AZ80 earbuds for the last few days, and spoiler, they're amazing. And it does take a lot to impress me with earbuds these days because there are so many on the market, and I get to try so many of them based on my job. But I have overlooked Technics in the past, and that's a shame because Technics is a brand which reminds me of my childhood. It was always a brand that was very present in our home for hi-fis and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know why I've never tried out their earbuds before. So when Technics got in touch and said, do you fancy checking out the AZ80s and the AZ60M2s, I said, yes please. Technics is sponsoring this video, but as always, every single opinion you're about to hear is my own. So let's get into the A780s first. Okay, let's talk about the specs and the pricing of the AZ80. So in the UK, they retail at £259.99. In terms of specs, they have 10mm drivers with enhanced low distortion bass response, an acoustic control chamber for natural mid-range, and a 20Hz to 40kHz frequency response. They're compatible with SBC, AAC, and LDAC codecs. They have up to 7 hours of battery life with ANC turned on, and 24 hours if you take into account the charging case. That case also charges wirelessly, and a 15-minute plugged-in charge gives you 70 minutes of playback. They have just my voice technology with 8 mics for wind reduction and speech isolation on calls, and Bluetooth 5.3 with multi-point connectivity. They're also IPX4 water resistant, and they have dual hybrid noise cancelling with feed-forward and feedback mics. And lastly, they have all-day comfort with a natural concha fit. Lots of specs, lots of numbers, but what do these things sound like? They sound really good. There's no beating about the bush with this. I've been EQing my earbuds quite a bit recently, which I never used to do. I used to just get them out of the box, get them out of the case, and listen to them, and then judge them based on that. And regular viewers will know that I've been tweaking the sound of my earbuds recently and my headphones just to get them sounding the way I want them to. Now, audio is a very subjective topic, and it's, well, you can fight it out in the comments below if you must, but just keep in mind that what I like, you may not like. And just like every pair of earbuds on the market, you can tweak the sound of the Technics as much as you want to because you go into the app and you change the EQ. However, as soon as I got these out of the case and put them into my ears, I loved them. The AZ80 are a fabulous sounding pair of earbuds. They're very hi-fi like, which sounds a bit, well, if you're an audiophile, you've probably clicked on the back button now and disappeared, which is fine. This isn't an audiophile channel. If you're a consumer and just a lover of decent headphones and decent earbuds, you'll know what I mean. It's when you put a pair of earbuds into your ears and straight away you're impressed by the sound. So these have very rich, detailed bass that goes very low, but it's not overpowering. The mid-range is just lovely and present and not too much in your face. And the top end is really sparkly, really kind of high-end sounding without being too harsh. And getting that balance right is not easy at all, trust me. There's plenty of earbuds out there that do that very badly. And the challenge for those brands is that the bar set by the likes of the AZ80 is very high. But what's most impressive about the AZ80 is that they chew up and spit out pretty much anything you throw at them, whether it's EDM, dance music, I call it dance music, rock, pop, hip-hop, R&B, country, classical. It all sounds fantastic on these. And yes, they dealt with my headphone killer test track, which is Pop Evil Breathe Again, absolutely fantastically. If you haven't checked that song out yet, guys, go and check it out. On a bad pair of earbuds, it sounds terrible. On a very good pair of earbuds like these, it sounds, well, it's listenable. There isn't really much more to say about the sound on the AZ80s because it's so good out of the box. I think it will satisfy most people. If it doesn't, you just go into the app and make those changes. Noise cancelling, it's really good. We've got roadworks outside the studio at the moment, and I took these for a test walking up and down the road, and it suppressed that sound really well. Again, a little bit like sound, we are in an era now where the bar for noise cancelling on earbuds is very high. And thankfully for Technics, they come in just above it. When it comes to the ambient mode, which is when you let the outside world in so you can be aware of your surroundings and hear yourself on telephone calls, they do a pretty good job. They're not as good as AirPods Pro 2, but then no earbuds are, unfortunately. But I wouldn't let that sway your buying decision because they still do a good job at making you hear yourself and hear the world around you. And when it comes to using these for telephone calls, they are very good. I could hear the person on the other end. They could hear me crystal clear. That technology, what was it called? The Just My Voice technology, that's it, with the 8 mics and the wind reduction and also the speech isolation, does seem to do a very good job. I personally much prefer using earbuds than over-ear headphones for telephone calls, and I couldn't tell the difference, and neither could the other person I was speaking to, between these and the AirPods Pro 2. Okay, let's talk about design, comfort and convenience, and I think the AZ80s are a very smart looking pair of earbuds. I do like this kind of aluminium finish that you get on the earbuds and also the top of the case. They've got that kind of, again, that hi-fi vibe going on where you feel like you're getting a lot for your money. These are the black version, obviously, but they do come in silver as well, which is a very classic hi-fi-like colour from Technics. I'm a big fan of that. The case is a bit of a masterpiece, actually. I'm very boring about headphone cases, but for good reason. They need to be very convenient, and, well, look at it. It's such a great size, and it charges wirelessly, so you can just pop that onto your wireless charger and away you go. And speaking of convenience, I know that for a lot of you the multi-point Bluetooth connectivity feature is very important, and these have that. And if you're not aware, that means you can switch between 3 different devices with these without going into Bluetooth settings and faffing about with pairing. In terms of fit, they are very comfortable. They've got that concha, hope I'm pronouncing that properly, concha fit technology, which means they slot very neatly into your ears and they stay there. I've had no issues with these falling out while I've been running or working out or rocking to my favorite music. They are probably one of the most comfortable and secure non-stem designs I've ever used. They've got touch controls, which isn't my favorite for a pair of earbuds, but they haven't annoyed me in that regard, and that is just a personal thing on my behalf. But in terms of design, fit, finish, comfort, convenience, they're a winner. As mentioned earlier, Technics did send me another pair of earbuds, which is the, let me get the name right, the AZ60M2, and these are a fair bit cheaper than these. So the AZ60M2s retail for about £200, and the main difference between those and the AZ80s is that the latter are the more premium of the two, so that's reflected in the sleek aluminium trim that I talked about earlier and that engraved casing. The other difference is in the drivers, so the AZ60M2s have 8mm drivers, whereas the AZ80s have 10mm drivers. There's a difference in the fit as well, so the AZ80s have that concha fit design which I mentioned earlier, whereas the AZ60M2s, in Technics words, feature an all-day comfort fit design housing with an expanded contact area that feels comfortable and secure. Now in reality, they both feel very comfortable. The AZ60M2s are just as comfortable as the AZ80s. But in terms of the design, they're pretty similar, to be honest. The AZ80s do look and feel a bit more premium, as they should given the price, but when it comes to the size of the earbuds and their ability to stick in your ears and not fall out, they're identical. And Technics really haven't been too harsh in terms of downgrading the features on these compared to the AZ80s, so they still have that multi-point connectivity, they've got the exact same noise cancelling, and they have that Just My Voice technology for taking telephone calls, and I can confirm they work identically in those regards. Where they do differ slightly is obviously the sound. The AZ80s do have bigger drivers, so they do sound a bit richer, a bit fuller, they have a slightly wider sound stage, but that is when you A/B test the two. Trust me, you won't buy the AZ60M2s and think these don't sound great, because they sound really good. So if your budget is lower and you're not bothered too much about that slightly improved premium feel on the AZ80s, and you're not going to notice the difference between 2mm in driver size, then the AZ60M2s are a really good buy. The AZ80s and the AZ60M2s are perfect examples of noise-cancelling earbuds that get everything right for the price. And they have that benefit of coming from a brand which has loads of heritage, a massive fan base. If you are a Technics person, you know you're a Technics person, and you're probably just watching this video to justify the purchase you've already made. But for someone like me who has a history of Technics stuff at home as a kid, and it means quite a lot to him from, watching his dad buy new hi-fi systems and enjoy the fit and finish and the sound, all that sort of stuff, they've been quite a lesson because I have overlooked them and I shouldn't have done. And while Technics may not be at the top of your shopping list for noise cancelling earbuds, they should be because we have two very good options here. So if you're a fellow Technics person, let me know in the comments, and if you fancy buying these regardless, again, let me know why in the comments. If you've still got some time, hang around for another video which I think you'll enjoy.